This is basically a book about finances, and I do not care.
Let's just open it.
He just hates birds. Hello, welcome back to Starless Reads. My name is Leia, and I'm so happy you chose to spend some time with me today. Today's video is going to be a reading vlog. It's going to be episode 2 of my Unwrapping My TBR series, I think I'm going to do. So if this video style thing vlog concept is interesting to you, I already have posted episode 1. I will link it down below. You can check it out. It was really fun. And I decided to do another one of those. So yeah, pretty simple concept. I spin the wheel picks a number for me, and then I unwrap the book from my TBR with that number. I'm filming this intro at the very end of the vlog for me, so I already know how this video is going to go. Let's just say it didn't go as well as episode 1 for me, and that's okay. You know, you can't always just have the good in life. Sometimes you have to struggle through the absolute trenches. Have fun watching the video. Bye. We're here to spin. We're here to unwrap. I need a book to read before sleep. I have a wheel. Oh my god. Okay, so I shuffled the numbers. I also added another book, number 22. I guess you won't know what it is until I open it. I don't want to jinx it, but I don't want another classic. I just did a whole video where everything I read was classic, so I don't want a classic, but we'll see. It's 3. Book number 3. Oh, that's a very normal length. I hope it's not a classic. Feels like a paperback. I guess we'll see. We'll see what this is. I'm stressed. Okay, let's open it where it's visible for you guys. What is this? Oh, okay. This is fun. This is Trust by Hernan Diaz. I picked this book up from a thrift store, I think. It must have been a year or 2 ago. It was a while ago. And I picked it up because it had really good, like, Goodreads reviews from people I really trust. Like, reviewers who really love the books I love also love this book. So I trusted them, you know, to know that this book is good. But then I read the back and I kind of lost interest because the back says that the main character is a legendary Wall Street tycoon, and that doesn't sound interesting to me. This was written by a man. I don't know. Shit. I think this is the case of like a book within the book, different stories, different narratives being intertwined. We'll see. Well, hopefully I enjoy it. This is 400 pages. So that's pretty big, actually. It looked smaller and all wrapped up, but now that I look at it, it's actually kind of big. It's 400 pages. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Okay. I am 36 pages into Trust, and I don't know about this one. Okay, so 36 pages is a bit fast to say like exactly how I'm feeling about a book. I think I need to give this book more of a chance. But so far, I'm not sold on this. But the reason why I want to give this book more of a chance is that the people who love this book say that the book becomes a masterpiece as you read further and further into it. So basically, the way that this book is told is in 4 different parts, and it's telling the same story 4 different times, but from different point of views, perspectives. The first point of view perspective of the narrative is a novel by an author, and then I think it switches to a memoir, and at another point it switches to another thing. I think there's a part where it's a diary, and it's like all of these stories are basically telling the same story, just from very different point of views. And you kind of take all four narratives, piece them together, and you end up with like the full picture, or like the fullest picture you could ever get from a narrative. Usually a narrative is very straightforward. It's only one point of view, one side of the story, but this book is really taking all possible sides to a story, all possible like perspective on the same exact events, and just showing everything to the reader. The thing is, and that as a concept sounds so interesting, like playing with narration and the same events told through different lens. There are many sides to the same story. Like, that's so interesting to me as a concept. The thing is that the story being told in this is like the furthest from interesting to me. Like, if this play on narrative was being done with any other story, I think I would eat this book up. But so far, the book, the story that is being basically the story that's being told is about a rich white man in 1920s New York, basically exchanging stocks, and like how he's become, basically it's about this man becoming richer and richer on the stock market because he already had generational wealth, and it's just him being richer and richer. And like, that's not really interesting to me. That's like the furthest thing from interesting to me. This is basically a book about finances, and I do not care. I do not understand. Just recently, though, the narrative kind of switched, and I think, and we're following his eventual wife's life now, and following a woman already more interesting to me. But still, like, if everything about the book is going to be about this rich white man's life, I don't think I care. Like, even if it's a masterpiece in storytelling, even if it's a masterpiece in storytelling, if the story being told is not interesting to me, I can't do it. I can't do it. But my goal today is to give this book a chance. I want to give this book a chance. I want to have trust in this book. When does the first part of this end? Okay, the first part, which is basically the fictionalized novel, it ends on page 124. I'm gonna try to read the first part today, and if I give up, then I give up. It's not that deep, and it's okay to, like, I'm still making my way through my TBR by just reading this and making sure, hey, that's just not one of the ones I'm gonna enjoy. But I also feel kind of bad because I know I'm not in a lit fic mood right now. Like, I haven't read a literary fiction in a while because I just really haven't been in a literary fiction mood. So would I be enjoying this more if I was in a lit fic mood? Maybe. But also, would I be enjoying this more if this story was about literally anyone else? Definitely. Don't want to know more about this man. He is so fucking annoying to me and boring. He's so boring. He's rich and he like hates it. Like, stop being fucking annoying. Like, stop being goddamn annoying. I'm just hyping myself up. I think I should read the book, take it for what it is, and if I give up on it, then I give up on it. That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna read now. I'm gonna stop complaining. Okay, I read a bit more of Trust. I made it to page 93, and I'm gonna put this down. I don't think this is a book for me right now, in this time in my life. Like, I don't think this is a book for 22-year-old Leah. Maybe it's never going to be for me. Just the subject matter, finances, I could not care less about finances, and the writing style also is not making me connect with the characters at all. I think if the prose had been somehow different, I would have found some of this interesting. Like, I do find an interest in Ellen specifically, who is the wife of the rich guy. I think she's an interesting character. I just think the way this book is written is a slog to get through. And the way I feel about this book now, I don't think, even if I read it completely and finished it, that I would feel satisfied with this book. Just with the way it started off, I don't think it's worth it for me to read this right now, and that's okay. I think this could be like a favorite book for some people, not for me, not right now, and that's okay. Okay, so I'm putting this down. If you like finances, hey, recommendation for you. If you like dysfunctional relationships and finances, the relationships part were kind of interesting, but like I said, writing style, not for me. This is kind of written like a history textbook or like a financial column in a newspaper. Like, this is not the kind of prose I like to read for sure. So okay, that's one book off my TBR, even though it's not off by being read, it's off by being put aside. And life is too short to waste your time with books you're not enjoying. So if you're not enjoying the book you're reading, this is your sign. Become something else. It's okay. Nobody's gonna judge you. Okay? The wheel is here. Let's click it to spin it. Okay. Hoping. Okay. Here is what I want. I feel like reading a high fantasy. I feel like a fantasy. It's wintry outside, and winter always makes me feel like reading fantasy. I hope I pick some sort of fantasy, but we'll see. There's many options. So let's click it to spin it. I think number 17 is a big ass one. I'm kind of spooked. Wait, just wait right there. This is 17 and it's a big one. I'm fucking scared out of my mind that this might be the Divine Comedy. And I know I wrapped up my books to read them, but I just read the Odyssey and I really don't feel like reading the Divine Comedy, and I'm scared that this might be the Divine Comedy. Like, does it feel like the Divine Comedy? Can I get a pass? Can I get like one veto? This is my game, and I decide what I do. So I'm going to open book 17. If this is the Divine Comedy, I am legally allowed to pick another book, okay? Because we've been through enough. I'm scared, like, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Let's just open it. I'm too good at guessing these. Is this cheating if I pick another book? Because look at the size. Look at the absolute girth of this. I just read two Shakespeare play and the Odyssey by Homer. I really don't feel like reading the Divine Comedy. So I think I'm going to put this back on the shelf. I'm gonna read this one day, okay? That day is not going to be today. Is it going to be this year? Probably not. I'm sorry. This is just too much for me, and I would like to formally apologize. This is on my shelf, and it's gonna get read one day. I'm just gonna put it back on the shelf. Is anyone mad at me? I feel like this video is not starting off well, but I am going to put this out. I'm not gonna pretend this never happened, because I could. I could have just like deleted this footage from existence and pretended I never picked the Divine Comedy, but no, I didn't do that. I'm so cool. Okay, let's just spin again and hope for the best. I think I have like one classic potentially left. If I pick the last classic, I guess that's just the way life is. 10, 8, book 8. Oh, wait, can you see? I'm not cheating. It's book 8. gonna go pick book 8. Okay, here we have her. She's kind of thick, but she's also a hardback. So I don't know. Sometimes hardbacks are bigger just because they're hardbacks. I don't know what this is. No idea. What hardbacks do I own? Good question. No idea. Number 8. Let's see if she ate. Okay, that's fun. That's fun. I'm down with that. I am down with that. Okay, it is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, and I am down for that. This is YA fantasy, and yeah, that's what I was feeling. Thank you, Wheel, for understanding. I did not want another classic. So this, what do I know about this? I think it's set in 1920s Shanghai. So it's not like a fully high fantasy. It's still set in the real world, but I think it's like fantastical in the way that there are monsters, and it's also, I believe this is based on Romeo and Juliet, but with rival gangs or something. Yeah, so it's rival gangs set in 1926 Shanghai, and Romeo and Juliet, but also there's monsters. And yeah, I found this at my local thrift store. It was $1, and this was all the rage in BookTube like a couple of years ago, and I just never got around to it. Okay, we're reading These Violent Delights. I've not read Romeo and Juliet, actually. I've read many Shakespeare, but I've not read Romeo and Juliet. That's fine. I still know the story. I'll still enjoy this, hopefully. Hello, good afternoon. Can you believe that it's 4:20 p.m. and it's already this dark outside? Huh? Am I doxing myself? I really need to lock in for this vlog and read. I think I got a little bit discouraged there and in a bit of a slumpy mood because of trust. And then I was not so keen on starting the Divine Comedy, and that kind of messed up my brain to be like, oh, you're failing this challenge that you're doing. But I have to tell my brain that this is just a fun, silly game that I'm doing, and that it literally does not matter, and that cheating is allowed, and the goal is to have fun. So yeah, I really need to remind my brain of that shit. And then I also had such a busy weekend. So yeah, here we are, Monday night, and I have an update for These Violent Delights. Today, crazy by the way, I needed to go to a jury duty selection this morning. Crazy. And that was very long and involved a lot of waiting. By the way, I wasn't picked. I know it's my duty as a citizen. I did not want to be picked for that shit. So didn't get picked. Okay, so I did a lot of waiting, and that means I did a lot of reading. Made it to page 138, and I wanted to talk about the book. I also want to talk about how this cover, look at the cover, right? This little design on the naked hardcover, those are not representative of the book at all. They're pretty, but they're so generic YA fantasy. There's a sword on there. There's a sword on both designs, and this is not a medieval fantasy. So far, no swords involved whatsoever, and I feel like it's kind of mischaracterizing this book. There are no swords involved. Well, maybe there will be one later. Maybe I'm too quick to jump to conclusion. I just feel like sword on cover gives very medieval, and this is not that at all. It's actually really modern, and it's in its tone. It's set in the 1920s, and it's bustling city full of debauchery and gangs, and the sword on the cover is not giving. Maybe a gun on the cover would have been better. Can you put just a gun on the cover? Can you do that? Can you put a gun on a book cover? Or is that not allowed? Are there rules to what you can put on a book cover? I guess so. Like, you can't put whatever you want. Okay, I'm going off topic. I dog-eared a certain little page, a passage that I wanted to read because it really exemplifies well how the tone, the mood, the scenery of this book. So think 1920s Shanghai. And yeah, I'm just gonna read it. They say Shanghai stands tall like an emperor's ugly daughter, its streets sprawling in a manner that only the limbs of a snarling princess could manage. It was not born this way. It used to be beautiful. They used to croon over it, examining the lines of its body and humming beneath their breath, nodding and deciding that it was well suited for children. Then the city mutilated itself with a wide, wide grin. It dragged a knife down its cheek and took the blade to its chest. And now it worries not for finding suitors, but merely for running wild, drunk on the invulnerability of inherited power, well suited only for profit and feasting, dancing, and whoring. Now it may be ugly, but it is glorious. That's such a slay. Let's talk a bit about the actual story of the book. So, like I said, this is set in 1920s Shanghai, and the political climate in that time is very unstable. There are a lot of foreign powers like coming to Shanghai and trying to get a lot of power. And in the midst of that, we have these two rival gangs. One of them being the Scarlet Gang, and the other one being the White Flowers. And so the Scarlet Gang is like a Chinese gang, and the White Flowers is a Russian gang. And they are rivals because they want more power, more territory. You know, usually gangs don't really like other gangs, so it makes a lot of sense. And we follow the respective son and daughter of the leader of both these gangs. So we have Juliet Kai, who is the daughter of the leader of the Scarlet Gang, and we have Roma Montagov, which is the son of the leader of the White Flowers. And fun twist, fun spin on like the Romeo and Juliet dynamic is that they were lovers in the past. So they met when they were 15 and they like fell in love. So that goes alongside the canon of like Romeo and Juliet being literal 14-year-olds and falling in love. So yeah, they met at 15 and they fell in love. And but then because of the whole rival gang stuff happening, Roma basically backstabbed Juliet. And now we're 5 years later, they're both 19. 4 years later, anyway, a couple of years later, they're both 19 and they have to basically solve a mystery. Something is happening in the streets of Shanghai. There is like a beast, a monster, I don't know, slash infection. There is something going on. And that's the only like kind of fantasy aspect of the story. Otherwise, this story is very much historical fiction so far. There's very little fantasy except for that one thing, like the monster infection. Basically, people get infected with this quote unquote monster and they go crazy and it makes them claw their own throats out, and that's how they die. And that's very visual, and I'm sorry if that was quite gory. The members from both of the gangs have been like attacked slash like killed by this infection monster thing happening. So Juliet and Roma kind of team up, but not really. They both like really hate each other. But there's also the tension because of the past romance, and they basically want to figure out what the deal is with this monster. That's basically the whole dynamic happening right now. And it's really interesting. Like I like that we have this element of like past romance, because I think if the romance of Romeo and Juliet was the current plotline, I would not like it as much. But the fact that there's past romance and now it's like enemies. The tension is really good. It's really good. So I'm gonna keep reading and I'll update you if and when I read more of this. I really want to lock in and I want to read more. I want to try to finish this book soon. I got further into these violent delights. I got more than halfway through. I'm on page 278. That's at the beginning of chapter 24. And I'm enjoying this. It's not like the full enjoyment. This is definitely not one of my new favorite books, but it is a fun read. Like I enjoy some of the aspects of this. I like the setting. I like that we're in Shanghai. I like that the city is very much like a main character in this. The city feels alive, and I do enjoy that. I like the monster aspect of it and the discussions around like the political state of the city as well and how that is reflected in this like, fantastical beast. I'm enjoying that a lot. The thing I would say that dampens my enjoyment the most is the main characters. I don't really feel connected to them. They're fine. Like they're not super. They're not the worst characters I've read. But like Juliet and Roma, I don't really connect to them. I don't think they're that interesting to be honest, and that's kind of sad. Um, I do enjoy some of the side characters a lot more. Trust me to love the queer coded characters way more than the main characters. So I love Marshall, I love Benedict, and I love Kathleen. Those three characters, every time they come on page, I'm like, my besties. So honestly, at this point, I'm mostly reading this for them because the main character. No, that's not true. I do want to know what goes on with like the mystery and the magical aspect of this, but I don't really care about the main characters and what happens to them or how their relationship develops. Like I could not care less. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to try to finish this today. I just read a funny scene with this inventor scientist character where he's basically showing off his recent invention. Every single one of his inventions is somehow related to getting rid of birds or like making birds go away. And that's so fucking dumb. And I love it. He just hates birds. And I love this kind of humor. It's just so absurd. This is such a small part of this book, but I still wanted to talk about it because I notice it when it's not there. And in this book, it's there, and I'm just happy that it's there. And that's the fact that the language is clearly researched, at least for the languages I understand. So, for example, when they speak French in this book, they clearly speak French in the way that a native French speaker would, and not the Google Translate French that often happens in books written in English by English speaking authors. So I can only imagine that it's the same for the other languages used. But it just really made me happy to see the French language being like appropriately used in this book. Like people actually saying phrases that French speakers would use. Because French is so often misrepresented in media, especially books. Like recently, I tried to read and also DNF'd A Treasure of Swans, and that book is based in like a French inspired fantasy world, and every single time they used French, it was like, the fuck? Like, what is this? Like, this is wrong. This is uncanny. It's French. Like, it looks like French. Is it French? Maybe. It's weird. But this one does it really well. So I just wanted to shout it out because it's doing a good job, and that's great. We are back on my bedroom floor because I finished These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Don't think I have much more to add to what I already have said about this book. I think my feelings about it remain quite the same, which is to say, this was good. It was fine. I do own the second book in the duology, and since this series is only a 2-book series, I did wrap it up, and it's an option for me to pick in the future. So I enjoyed it enough to want to see how the duology wraps up. Is it my new favorite book? No. Did I have fun? Yeah. So if the story sounds like a good story to you, you should check it out and see if it's for you, because I definitely can see how this is how this is a really, really good favorite book for some people. It just wasn't to this level for me personally, especially I think because I didn't fully connect to the main characters, but I'm still intrigued to see what happens like as the story goes forward and how it gets wrapped up in the sequel. So yeah, I did wrap it up. So it is in our options for picking in the future. So it's time to pick another book. I have my wheel right here. Okay, we have the wheel and we're ready to pick. Hello, 12. Let's see what number 12 is. Okay, it's right there. This is a paperback. It's pretty small. I'm not so sure. It's very square. What could this be? This could be, I don't know. I don't know what this could be actually. Okay, let's just open it and see what it is. Oh, fun. Okay, I know what this is. Fuck. Oh no. Did I actually just mess up my book cover? I think I did. Okay, it's at the back, but oh, I'm fucking pissed. Okay, so I did put tape on the book to like wrap it, and it scratched off some of the color. At least it's only at the back. So this is The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. This is another first book in a series, and this is the first book in a high fantasy series. So I'm going to be fully honest. and say that I mostly bought this book because of the gorgeous cover. It's like a gorgeous, huge, almost endless seeming library, and that spoke to me. So I really don't know much about this other than I love the cover. And I've heard good things about this author in general when it comes to his fantasy works. I was recommended his other series, Red Sister. In the past, I never checked out anything by him though. So this would be my first book by Mark Lawrence. The blurb at the back says, two strangers find themselves connected by a vast and mysterious library containing many wonders and still more secrets in this powerfully moving series opener from the international best-selling author of Red Sister and Prince of Thorns. So, Endless Library sounds fun. This is quite a big book. It's 560 pages, so that's a lot. But so I'm going to start this and get a chunk of the way through before I give you an update to see how I feel about this. But I'm excited about this book. I've been wanting fantasy recently, and I did think that These Violent Delights it was going to be more fantasy than it actually was. The cover, by the way, never was a sword. Never once was there a sword in this book. This cover is so deceiving. Like, why lie to your readers like that? I don't know. So I'm craving something like high fantasy set in another world completely, and I'm hoping that this will satisfy my cravings. I'll let you know. Okay. I'm not sure if the problem is me or the books. It might be me. I think maybe am I in a slump? I don't know because it just feels like nothing is hitting anymore. Am I just still recovering from reading the Odyssey and nothing can compare to it? Perhaps. But also, I feel like some books can compare to it. Like it's just not hitting. Yeah, so it's been a couple of days and I made a little bit of my way through the book that wouldn't burn. I'm on page 118. That's chapter 14. And I don't know. This book in theory sounds so good to me, but there's just something that's not clicking. Like I don't feel like picking it up when I'm reading it. I'm like, don't care. And I'm like, am I the problem or is this book the problem? Is this the writing style that's just not clicking with me? I don't know. I'm gonna talk a bit about it, okay? So the book that wouldn't burn. There are two like storylines slash point of views that we're following in this. The first one is Lavera. She is a child, unclear what her age is. I would say she's around 10, 12 years old. I'm not sure. So we have Lavera, and she grew up on like a settlement in basically the desert. They call it the Dust, but it's like a tiny, poor settlement in the desert. And then one day, strangers come to the settlement, and her whole life is upside down, and she is taken to the city. So she's never known another environment as this settlement where she grew up. She hasn't known anything else than poverty and hunger and dust and thirst. So it's like a lot of big changes for her, but she's also like a really smart kid and she is very curious about the world. So and she has to like grapple with the fact that her life is changing so much. And then the other storyline we're following is of Ivar. Ivar is like a young man. I think he's early 20s and he is living in this seemingly endless library with his siblings. He calls them his siblings, but they're not actually related. And they are kind of stuck in this library. And it's a weird place. It's like this place out of time where like they can't leave and they have like this endless amount of books around them and they don't know anything about what's going on in the outside world and they don't know if they'll ever be able to leave this place and they don't really remember their lives before coming to this place. They were basically taken to this place through some sort of portal and yeah, they don't know much. This whole like atmosphere, library, and also like young people being stuck together in this like almost like liminal space is giving Library at Monchar, it's giving Strange the Dreamer, and both of these books I really love. And I love this concept of like library out of time, or like this group of people being stuck out of time in this like liminal place, and they have to like deal with one another. Like I enjoy these books. So I don't know, like I think the issue with this for me is the pacing so far, because like I said, I'm 118 pages in, but it feels like we haven't done much. I don't know if I'm that interested to keep on going, even though like there are interesting concepts hidden in there. Like the library is fun. The like us trying to figure out how those two like timelines are connected, like the two point of views, how they're eventually going to connect to one another. But also I don't know. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know if the problem is me, and it might be, but I don't really care. And I feel sad about that. I really feel sad about that. In part because this video I feel is going to be like kind of shit because I've only read one book. But also I feel sad because I was really excited about reading this book, and I was excited about picking up a high fantasy. I feel like this world could be so much more interesting if explored in a different way, and if we focused our attention, like the narrative focused its attention on different events. And that might change because I'm only 118 pages in this, but I'm going to put this aside for now. Yeah. Um is this whole video a failure? Maybe. But that's okay. I don't want to force it. I don't want to read a book I'm not enjoying, and I don't want to waste my time reading a book I don't want to read. So this will be the end of the video for me. Little recap of everything I read. Beginning of the video, I picked up Trust by Hernan Diaz. I made it to page 68 in this, and then the end of this. And then I picked up and read in its entirety These Violent Delights by Gong. And looking back on it, this was a really fun time, and I'm really glad I picked this up. And I'm happy I have the second book as well. Like, this was a fun, messy time. Nothing too serious, but still overall good. I wish there was more magic in this, but I think there might be more in the second book. So overall, I'm glad I read this. This was like my diamond in the rough for these last couple of days of reading, because then I picked up the book that wouldn't burn. I'm so sad about this. So yeah, these were the books that we either read or gave up on this week. Let me know if you enjoy this type of video. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know, because I'm feeling really sad about the way this vlog turned out, and I need reassurance. So yeah, and I still feel like doing more of these unwrapping my TBR videos. So yeah, I'm probably going to keep doing them, even though this time around it didn't go well. I still have a lot of trust in my TBR, and it's not because I picked up some books in my TBR that didn't end up landing like I hoped they would, that I need to give up on the entirety of my TBR. I think that's just bad faith. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a little thumbs up if you enjoyed it. You can also hype it up. There's a new hyping feature. If you want to like hype up a small creator like me, you can also do that. It's free. And you can check out the first video in my Unwrapping My TBR series. I will link it down below. And I will see you soon in a new video. Okay, bye!